I am California of the past.
I am California of the past.
I
I am
am
California of the past.
My name is Marian Herreid, and I was born in Madison, Wisconsin in 1920. In fact, I lived in several towns in my growing up years in Wisconsin, but I've been a number of places in my working years, including California. In fact, I first came to California in 1956. I had just divorced. I was the mother of 4 children, 6, 8, 10, and 13. Either I was pretty brave or I was awful stupid. But anyway, I came to direct a preschool program in Long Beach, California, and I worked there for 5 years. I got tired of saying to people when they asked me, where did you get your training? I would say flippantly, I never took any, I just give it. And I went back to school. So I got my degree after my kids were all in college themselves, and was able to get a BA at age 50 and a master's at 52 and my doctorate at 56. And so when I came back to Half Moon Bay in 1988 and settled here, one of the first things I did was come to the senior center. And after I had had my lunch and left, I thought to myself, what on earth do I want to be there with all those old people? Well, fortunately, I didn't stick with that. I went in and asked if there wasn't something I could do to help, and so I began volunteering. I did things like Meals on Wheels and helping serve in the dining room and helping out get mailings and things like that. And I got to met people this way. And I also learned a lot about growing old. In fact, I learned so much that they asked me to join the board. And I've been on the board of directors now for 22 years. So that's made my life here pretty focused on the senior center, but I've been involved in other things too. And I think of Half Moon Bay when I first arrived as being very similar to the kinds of things that I so enjoyed on Washington Island and in the small town in Vermont. To my west, I had the sea and the wonderful salt air and the beaches to walk on and label my own picnic table if I wanted to. And then to the east were those lovely foothills with the various shades of green when we were having rain. And when we had rain in the spring would come the lemongrass and the mustard that would just sweep across those hills in glorious golden patches. But after 22 years, I've seen a lot of changes both in Half Moon Bay and in myself. Half Moon Bay now, of course, is a population, according to the sign as you come in town, of something over 13,000, but we know that with the census being done now, surely we'll go over that, many more than that. And I think the biggest change I notice is the home building. A lot more bigger homes, and a lot of what had been empty lots and fields with maybe private gardens growing beans or vegetables are now big houses with small yards. And then, of course, Main Street has changed a good deal with many shops disappearing and others replacing them. And then I think particularly of the loss of the lumber yard on Main Street, because that always seemed like a strange thing to have on a main street. And it's replaced now with an antique and secondhand store. But we've lost, in this recession now, 2 bookstores. But when I think of it, it was one of the things that I thought was unusual about Half Moon Bay. It had 4 bookstores, and none of them were the big box ones. They were really you knew the owners, and they were very helpful, and they it just was not at all like going into a big box store because of the things that they would order for you and we found there. It's just homey. Trying to think about the changes in me and how to start with that. I was 68 when I moved here, so I went through what I guess the professional gerontologists would call my young old years, and then I've been through my old years, and now I'm going in full force into my old years, and the journey certainly has been enhanced and supported by this town and the people and the opportunities that were provided for me. And I know that I'm constantly interacting with people of all ages, and I get a chance to see both positive and negative kinds of personalities, both of which I think help you to say, boy, I'm not going to be like that when I grow up, or there's a model for me. I hope I can be like that when I reach that age. So I find that I feel confident in that I will find my needs met here, because that's the kind of community it is. And that's pretty comforting.